here. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay on the mic. I'm checking the mic levels myself, and hopefully you will also hear the desktop audio. So we're going to be getting started here in about 5 minutes with the Orks, Armageddon, the Orks. Of course, we've got the regular Warhammer 40k Armageddon, where you play as the Space Marines and the Imperial Guard, a ton of amazing DLCs, and the same is true for the Orks. That's why it's almost like kind of a separate game. This game focuses entirely on the Ork perspective of Armageddon, and it's pretty interesting stuff. So, see you soon, guys. Hey, Muso, good to hear it, man. Sounds like you had your PC issue sorted. That's awesome. I'm actually really looking forward to this this particular stream and this Let's Play. I never actually watched the intro to the Orks. I want to see if I could play it for you guys, but I'm a little afraid. Like we got a perfect capture on the game, and I'm a little afraid if I show you guys the intro that I'm going to lose that perfect capture. But there's 25 of you here now, so let's take a vote. Should Agrippa try and restart the game to get the intro for you guys? Because the intro video to this game is so cool. So let me know. Maybe Muso can make a straw poll, redo intro or don't redo intro, and then when the stream starts, we'll go ahead and basically restart the intro to the game because it's amazing. Unfortunately, there's no button to replay it here as far as I can see, but it's really cool. Good afternoon, V Redster. Good evening. One sec, guys. Okay, guys, so let's see. Muso, could you make a straw poll for whether or not we should see the intro or not? Hey, Blackneck, how you doing, buddy? Audie, of course, how you doing? Seen you on my channel dropping some comments on the CM vids, which is awesome. Alright, let's see here. Now, I am going to be leaving, guys, tomorrow for Portugal. and probably won't be around for a while. I'm gonna try and do streams from my regular Twitch channel, but it's probably gonna be hard, to be honest. Of course, I'll still be putting videos up on YouTube, but I won't be streaming with Slytherin until I get back on the 3rd. So that is the situation right now. And so let's see here. Maybe I think Muso is asleep. Hold on a sec. Let me see if I can get the straw poll going here. Google straw poll. Let's see, straw poll. 1 second, guys. So this is the question. This game has an awesome intro, but the problem is we've got this set up perfectly where the game is actually showing up. We don't have to do a display capture, and I'm not sure if that's going to change if we try and catch the intro. So I'm going to go ahead and make a straw poll here, and you guys can answer me and see what you think. And I will create the poll. Let's see if I do this right. Oh, I think I got a poll going. No worries, man. All right, so here's the poll, guys. And like I said, I wouldn't do this if it was just a regular intro, but this is a really cool intro. And I've actually, I watched it for the first time, essentially, and I was shocked. So I'm going to need Muso if you can. Depending on how the straw poll goes, if people vote to see the intro, just keep me updated on WhatsApp and let me know if everybody can see everything, because we are going to be restarting, essentially. No worries, man. That's okay. Hello, welcome, Nizza. How you doing? Okay, that's a pretty clear yes. So here we go, guys. I'm sorry. I'm going to try to restart the game. Let's hope everything goes well. We had a perfect setup, so hopefully it'll work perfectly again. Muso, please let me know on WeTransfer if you guys are seeing the intro.
I created him, you know. Without me, the great green prophet would have died as one of the loads of boys on Earth. But then, he got shot in the head fighting the Umis, and his mate brought him to me. That's when things got interesting. After me, improvements. Gaskell Fracker started seeing things. Visions of the green gods, Gork and Ork. They told him stuff about how hard Orks are, and he took over Earth. First, he voted the Umis off, then he killed any Orks that didn't agree with him. While Fracker was claiming the planet, the star we swung around with a right funny colour like. It was going to blow if you ask me, but Gaskell wasn't bothered. He said that Urk was just the start, and Gork could lend us his ship. So he did. World Killer appeared in the sky. A big old Ork with plenty of room for all the boys in our gear. Any boy who didn't believe Fracker before, did then. We pulled it up to the Hulk. We just didn't know where we were going, but Gaskell did. To war, he said. We're going to war!
Well, what did you guys think about that intro? I don't know if that's just me, but whenever I'm playing Armageddon the Orks and I see that, I'm like, oh my god, I can't wait to play. I want to play now. So we're going to do a campaign, and we're starting here on Armageddon Prime. So Gaskell unleashes his forces from the Space Hulk World Killer, and the World Killer is that massive hunk, I guess you could call it a ship, hunk of metal in space, an invasion of Armageddon Prime. And this is, of course, an Imperial city, or an Imperial planet, I should say. And I can already see awesome, nice intro, Flash Pest. That's a lot of fun. Okay, mic is really low. Let's see if we can't fix that. Thanks, guys. Fix the mic a bit. Let's see if that's better. Hold on. But yeah, I love that intro so much. It's just really, really cool. 1 second here. Let's get it up there. This might be a bit better, guys. Let me know in the comments. Yes, awesome. Definitely makes you understand the Orks a bit more. And I think I'm going to go for normal. It's been a while since I've played, but I'll be fair, I'll get rid of the undo button, so I can't undo a bad move. How about that? Let's jump in, and for my name, of course, Agrippa Maxentius. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get all this. This is a pretty complicated. Yeah, Orks don't want you to name more than 8 characters. That's a bit too much.
You're one of the good uns. But don't go thinking I won't crush your skull if you fail me. The mad dog here has given me these claws, and I'm dying to use them on something squishy. You'll get used to them soon enough, boss. There's plenty of enemies on this world to slice and crush. Right then, boss. We got a job for you. But several jobs, actually. All involving lots of data and slaying as many of these emperor-loving humans as you can. Dagnus has got your orders. Right. The whom is called this High Volcanus. Stupid one. Lure out the whom is carried inside and kill him.
I love how the Orks think it's a stupid name. It's just like, stupid name. Okay, so, here we go. Eliminate all Imperial units. Wow. So we are basically eradicating, for lack of a better word, an entire Imperial garrison. And it looks like this is a penal legion, a penal brigade. This is basically sort of what happens to a lot of prisoners in the Empire. They end up having to serve on the battlefield in these legions. So we're going to send in just some regular Gretchen first. Oh boy. Yeah, that didn't go too well. But we did get a few kills on the Penal Legion, and they're not going to be as tough as, for instance, the Steel Legion Special Weapons team. So I'm actually going to bring up the Scorcha, and I think we can get a nice shot here. Oh, but look at that. Problem is they're inside this building, and that's going to make things a little more difficult for us. Wish we had some sort of artillery piece, but I'm not sure we do, at least not in this mission. Get the wool buggy with rockets. So as you can see there, even though it looked like we were going to get 5, we actually got 8. Hey, how's it going, Son Nif? Good to see you. Yeah, we're going to probably just take a look at campaigns. And Musa's right, this will be the last Slytherin stream of the year, for sure. I leave tomorrow for Portugal, so that should be fun. Right, here we go. We're going to take the Nobs. The Nobs know how to get your job done. Let's move forward here, and actually the Nobs are going to lose quite a lot against the Special Weapons Flamers. I think I'm going to attack the Penal Legion here. Oh, I misread that completely. I thought we were going to be the ones killing 21. It's been a while, guys, since I've played, and I promised I wouldn't undo any moves, so I'm going to stick with my mistake. That's a bad one, though, especially with a group of Nobs. They're very valuable, and now they've been reduced to cinders. All right, let's move up. Scorcher. Burn, humies. Get another war buggy up here. And this has a big shooter. And look at this. For some reason, any shot we take out here, we're actually taking more damage, which is a bit weird. So I'm going to fire at the Scorchers. Try to at least kill a few of them. But I don't know if the enemy has artillery, something like that we need to worry about. We'll soon see. Not bad. Blackneck, how you doing, mate? Alright, here we go. 41 people. I guess we got a lot of people that like the Orks. And like I mentioned before, we have another game called Warhammer Armageddon, which focuses on the Space Marines and the Imperial Guard, if that's more your thing. It's a very similar game to this one, but in this one, the focus is, of course, fighting as the Orks. And in case you guys didn't know, the Grot-guided missile, yeah, they use an actual Grot to guide the missile, an actual Gretchen. They basically just take a Gretchen, they strap him to a rocket, and they send him into kamikaze mode. Pretty creepy stuff. We've also got some Squigs here, and these actually double up as pets for a lot of Orks. Believe it or not, Orks do have pets, but the pets are not known for being kind. They're known for their ferocity. Just about everything in the Orkish culture is about ferocity. So let's wipe out these Penal Legions. We've got a pretty beastly tank here, a Gut Ripper, and this thing is actually also really good in close combat. I think that the Ard boys would do pretty well in close combat against the Penal Legion. So let's get a little closer here, and yeah, we'll do just a little more damage there, getting up close and personal. I'm going to go ahead and move the Knobs here with the Special Shooter and fire at the Penal Legion. We shouldn't have to worry about these guys at all. They're essentially the human equivalent of Gretchen. We can actually get a closer look there, and yes, the game allows you to zoom in and out at will. And keep in mind, guys, with our holiday sale, this is the perfect time to pick up the Orks or Armageddon. I suggest getting both with all the DLC. The DLC of both games is so cool. In Armageddon, you can play as the Salamanders, you can play as the Imperial Guard, you can play as the Ultramarines. It's just incredibly cool stuff. So we've done some pretty good attacks so far, I think. There's still a lot of Penal battalions here, and I want to actually see if I can produce some units. Yeah, I can. I want some artillery. So let's get the gun truck with Big Loba. 411. It's expensive, but we're going to take one, put it over here, and that thing looks just so cool. The actual artwork for the game is something I really like. We should have taken the gun truck here, but it wouldn't matter because we have to wait a turn to use it. So let's take in their gun truck. Look at me defending my poor decisions. It doesn't look like we can drop it here. We have to drop it over here. Fair enough. We do have a lot of enemies here to deal with too, so let's go ahead and send those Gretchens to Gretchen Heaven. Can't imagine what that would be like. And we'll open fire with the Grot tank. Actually going to open fire at these guys so they can't return fire. The distance here is a bit too far for them. Let's get our squigs to move. And there we go. So as you can see, the squigs can actually do a lot of damage in great numbers. But it's not really one of my favorite units. Got a Bone Breaker. And now what I'm going to do is I want to see the Gut Ripper's close combat abilities. So the thing you have to remember in any of these Warhammer 40k Armageddon games is essentially some units will have more than one weapon. In this case, this unit has 3 weapons, a Gut Ripper cannon, a shooter, and pincer blades. But depending on the weapon, you may need to be at a certain distance. So the closer you can get with this unit, you can use all 3 weapons, and of course you're going to do a lot more damage to that unit. Look at that, 22 damage. So we're slicing and dicing them, we're firing lasers at them, we're doing everything we can to take them out. Well, maybe not lasers. I don't think Orks even know how to fire a laser. Alright, let's move in with the boys. Not bad. We've also got the Nobs with the big chopper. The problem here is that we can't get close enough to the enemy without getting into our armored vehicle. So I'm just going to move here and wait till the next turn. Got the Grot bomb launcher. Let's take a look here. Pixel says the Orks are awesome. Looks kind of like a Katusha, but with a little green toot on it. Yeah. It's a Gut Ripper. It's super awesome in close combat. Yep, Sunnif knows exactly what he's talking about. Just that Gut Ripper is just vicious. I might buy another one. We still have, you know, stuff, well, cash to spend. But I'm going to wait because perhaps we'll want to get some more artillery. In fact, I really want to get some artillery over here, but there's no drop-off point. So we'd have to bring all our arty from over here. And that's going to take a little while. In fact, you know what? Let's get a Gut Ripper, why not? 625, it's expensive, but we're going to need it. And I'm going to also go ahead and get some regular infantry here. I want to get some Burna Boys. It's only 120, and we can actually get a truck with a big shooter in case they need to move longer distances. So I'm taking them, and I'm going to put them over here. Probably should have gotten them before. They've got really nice weapons. And we'll end the turn. Make sure we don't have any other units we haven't moved. Oh, I think we can attack. That's right. No, we can't. All right, here we go, guys. Imperial Guard responding. They've got some heavy machine guns on top of those buildings. Oh, they've got some vicious tanks here. We call those big guns. And they are very, very big guns right there. Even the Penal Legions are putting up a pretty good fight, and I think they have to, because if they can survive, they might be able to be reinstated into the Imperial Guard. But honestly, I'm not sure. I don't know enough about them. No! no! He's wiped out. Oh, they just completely destroyed the war buggy there. Yeah, they're doing a really vicious attack here in the center, and unfortunately that's where we can't drop off any units. So we're going to have to find a way to figure this situation out. And feel free, guys, especially in the comment section, feel free to give tips or suggestions. We always like to hear your advice and kind of try to implement it.
The Oomers are assaulting our position! CET!
Look how they spelled position. I love the horrible misspellings for the orcs. It's just hilarious. Alright, here we go. Gut Rippers gonna finish off this Penal Legion. Ooh, sneaky buggers. They actually stuck around for a bit. There's still one there, and I'm gonna have to waste a shot from one of my better units to get rid of him. Well, someone's got to do it. Might as well be these guys. I'm also gonna go ahead and use this beautiful Grot Bomb Launcher and utterly devastate the enemy. But look at this. We've got a Taurus Venator. I'm not even sure what that is. Hey, Metallicil, how you doing, bud? Bigger gun, says Pixel. Oh, actually, that's funny that you mentioned that, Pixel. So, some good news. I actually played the Vietnam scenario. Well, good news, bad news situation. I played the Vietnam scenario, and I was able to figure out how to move my ships. I was able to figure out how to attack enemy ships. And I didn't win the scenario, but I destroyed a few enemy ships, which was really cool. Kind of fun. But I also lost ships, and so I'm guessing I have to do some sort of countermeasures that maybe I'm forgetting. I also sped up the game, I think, to like 10 minutes. Each second was 10 minutes or something, so maybe I sort of sped it up too much. But yeah, I'm definitely getting better at it. I'm definitely starting to understand it a bit more, and it's really fun. Especially knowing the kind of equipment you're working with, like just the massive, you know, ordnance that you're using to take on the enemy can be really exciting. Let's get over here and finish this guy off with our beautiful little big shooter gun. So this is basically an Ork APC. As you can see, barely any protection on the sides. Everybody's exposed. That's just the way they are. Ah, that's why. So I should probably go. What would you recommend in terms of time-wise? Like, what would be fair? Because it goes, you know, I don't want it to go too slow. The only thing I'm a bit more nervous about is going into the scenarios that use aircraft, because I'm not sure if I have to refuel it or do something like that. I'm wondering why we can't shoot at the Taurus Venator. And maybe it's because we've already used these guns, but I don't remember firing that specific tank. Alright guys, major Imperial Guard attack here. We've got to fight back. And actually, look at this. They're taking on our beautiful Killicans and doing a lot of damage to them. So I want to do something to stop that Sentinel. I have a hate-hate relationship with Sentinels. I hate using them, and I hate facing them. I don't like them. They seem to work great against me, but when I use them, they work terribly. So here we go. We're going to do that. I'm going to try and get these Killicans out of here. We might be able to reinforce them later, and basically bring them back to the fight. So for now, I really want to focus on the enemies ahead of us. And I think I'm more afraid of the Imperial Guard units than I am of their little lackeys. So I'm going to go for the Imperial Guard, even though it's going to be a nasty fight. Good work, Gretchen. Got him down to 1. We might be able to finish off a guard unit this turn. Not sure if we want to, though, because we can actually dish out a lot of damage. So let's go for some damage. Yeah, down to 2. So unfortunately, that Venator is going to be a rough one. That's going to be rough to deal with. I'm going to move the War Buggy back once again to try and reinforce it a bit. But I don't even think the War Buggy can really take on the Venator. We're going to have to basically use a pincer formation to get some of our guys in here. Finish them off. Go for it, Gretchen. Feast on their remains. I'm actually not sure what Gretchen eats, so this is all a guess. Hey, how's it going, Dave? Good to see you, man. And Demon Wave, Jared K. Fan. Good to see everybody. Very cool. Pixel says if lots of missiles are flying, lowering the time compression can help. Play the air-to-air refueling tutorial. Ah, okay, that's what I should check out. Yeah, that seems complicated. It seems like overly complicated. But the battle I faced was very straightforward. Battle in Vietnam, where I had, I think, 2 destroyers. And I managed to take out a few NVA boats, which was pretty fun. Okay, here we go. We still got another front to deal with, boys. We're not done. And I think the Bonebreaker that has a Crusher Cannon, or Death Roller, so it also does very good damage in close combat. One of the cool things about the Ork tanks is their main damage, well, in terms of the most damage they can do from an armored vehicle, is up close and personal. That's not always true with a lot of the factions. In fact, you know, some of the Lehman Russ tanks have to be at a bit of a distance to get the best shot on the enemy. Although some Lehman Russ tanks, I believe one is called the Executioner, do have a las cannon attached. So if you get close, you basically obliterate your enemy with a las cannon. So that also works. Let's move them up here and take out these guys. Oh no, they've got the heavy machine gun nest. We're gonna have to storm it. This is like World War I in Warhammer 40k. Charge it. Oh, we didn't do any damage. We're gonna have to get some serious artillery on this thing. Here we go. Not bad. It's a start. If we can't break through that, we are in a very bad way. Put it that way. And they've got a Lehman Russ tank here too. Or actually, it's a Hellhound. So I think this is a kind of Chimera tank. Good work, men. We're also in the entrenched position. And yes, trenches do make a difference. Still got another shot here, though, with a rocket launcher. And I'm actually going to skip the Penal Battalion and fire directly at that gun. That's how dangerous I think that enemy is. Good work. Good work, attack squigs. There's also some squigs that are suicide squigs. You can actually use them to bomb the enemy, essentially. Ah, found info on Taurus. Ooh, very cool. Rapid assault vehicle. Sturdy all-terrain vehicle used mainly on the frontier worlds of the Imperium. Interesting. So yeah, these are definitely sort of almost scout vehicles of sorts. Yeah, very interesting. They seem pretty nasty to me. They don't seem friendly. Okay, let's see. We'll try to move this guy back and get some reinforcements, but I don't think that's happening. See if we go out of units. I'm actually going for a Bonebreaker. Okay, guys, and that's the Taurus that we were just talking about. So hopefully we take this thing out very, very quickly. I don't like that I put my artillery right next to it. Pretty sure he's going to attack. But let's end the turn and hope for the best. Oh, man. That heavy machine gun. Or heavy bolter. You know, 10 times worse than a heavy machine gun. Poor Gretchen's. Wow. So now I'm a little concerned. There's a lot of Imperial Guard here, and they're moving in with their command squads as well, which means they're not too afraid. We must make them fear us, but to do that, we've got to start destroying their tanks. There's that Sentinel again. And actually, it didn't do too much damage to that other unit. Sadly, it got rid of one of the Gretchen launchers.
Get your mobs ready. The signal will come any moment now.
Oh, does that mean we're getting reinforcements? I think it might. Alright, so first things first. Artillery fire to soften the enemy up. Get a little tank fire in there as well. That's a dead enemy, and we're going to move the squigs forward to inspect the enemy area. So it looks like they've got a city over here. We can actually see it. A nice little Imperial city. And we are going to destroy the enemy. It's probably actually an Imperial prison camp of sorts, because there's a lot of penal battalions here. So this is where you get to go if you are not a good Imperial Guardsman. Let's get the close combat power of the tank here. Wow, look at that thing. Love the Gut Ripper. And we'll bring... I'm not saying it properly. It's Gut Ripper. I'm going to bring the Bone Break as well. Not bad. They've got some more penal battalions here in the buildings, and this actually increases their firing capabilities as well as distance. But I'm not too worried. These are penal battalions. We can't be afraid of units like this. We've got to just roll right past them, move on past them, onto the next target. What sort of gun is that? That's a custom Mega Blasta. That is interesting, to say the least. Alright, we're going to go ahead and bomb the buildings. I mean, Orks could care less about civilian casualties. Nice shooting. Actually, it was bad shooting, but we'll deal with it later. Cut your leg off. Here we go. Alright, definitely want to get rid of the Sentinel. Beautiful. One Sentinel down. We're supposed to be holding these points, but easier said than done. So I am going to go ahead and rest and refit. Actually, replacements would be more useful, so we'll do that. We're getting some replacements for our beautiful Killicans with Scorcha. I think we're going to need those guys to win the battle. I also think we should probably move this war track back, because right now it's so close to all the enemy troops, it's not really going to help. Let's go ahead and fire. Not bad, actually. Not a bad attack. We might be able to take this thing out with Gretchen. You could just see them swarming over this vehicle, and sure enough, we made it through. Nice. It's a decent start. Don't get excited, though. Oh, I forgot about you. Hello. Got him down to 1. Gretchen can still be deadly in big numbers. In large numbers. And we're going to fire at the Lehman Russ this time. Or I keep calling it the Lehman Russ. It's not a Lehman Russ. It's a Hellhound. If we can just do a little damage to this thing, it's a huge plus. And we've got... This is a Lehman Russ. We definitely want to be afraid of that thing. I think we probably want to buy a few more units. As for this, I'm going to open fire on that machine gun. I'd like to get closer, though. So let me actually move this unit here. I don't want them to become a suicide squad, so I'm going to fire that penal battalion. And unfortunately, we can't get too close. So we'll get here. And it can actually still do quite a bit of damage to us, believe it or not. I will, of course, storm the area, though, with the nobs, with the special shooter. And look at that. We wiped out their machine gun nest. Beautiful. No mercy at all. And that machine gun nest was doing a tremendous amount of damage. We could shoot them, or we could attack with swigs. I think that's going to work out a lot better for us. And let's shoot the Sentinel. Nice. I think we're going to go ahead and purchase another unit. And Grot Tank. Let's get another Gut Ripper. It's expensive, but it gets the job done. The Orks just want to hug the squish 'em can be friends, Pixel. Pixel's doing Orc speak here in the chat. Please feel free, Orc speak away. There's not enough Orc speak in this world. So right now I'm just basically going through my units, making sure I've attacked with all of them, making sure I've used all of them, before I turn it over to the Humies. I think that's pretty much all we can do. We're going to end the turn and hope for the best. Oh, they've got some turret guns up there. And I'm definitely very concerned with my ability to withstand the Lehman Russ attacks. And, you know, the Imperial Guard attacks over here, too. I mean, there are a lot of Imperial Guard. And they're pretty well trained, especially against Gretchen units, which is what we mostly have in the center. Alright, back to the Orks. This is really the situation I'm mostly concerned about. But let's see if we can do some damage with the Killicans. No, we can't. Those Killicans won't touch that Leman Russ tank. We can at least wipe out this Imperial Guard squad. Don't want them reinforcing. Oh yeah, we've got to move back, guys. And maybe this tank can do some damage? No. And once again, I turned off the undo button purposely here because I don't want to be able to correct my mistakes if I make them. If I make mistakes, I'll just have to learn from them. All right, let's advance, and I'm sending these squigs in to check out the enemy positions. Look at that. They've got a mortar. Steel Legion with mortar support. We definitely want to get rid of that. Fire. Get that rocket launcher a bit closer. Looks like the distance is not so good with the gun truck with the big loba. And I believe they just create some sort of explosive and just, you know, some homemade explosive device and just throw it as hard as they can. Or fire it as hard as they can towards the enemy. So we're going to go ahead and move up with the Burna Boys. Of course, the enemy is getting mortar support, so that's going to increase their damage. We can't be afraid to lose some men. I mean, the Orks are all about numbers, so even if we lose a few guys on these attacks, I think they're still worth it. Taking over this area is important because then we can move in here and flank those enemy troops harassing our men. Let's move forward again. And I'll fire. Ooh, mortar support's going to do some damage here. What the? Oh, I'm not going to fire at all. Okay, guys, let's see how the Gut Repa stands up against the Leman Russ. I think to do that, we need to get the enemy out of the way. And I'm also going to fire here. That actually worked out pretty well. Now Gut Repa versus Leman Russ. And we just wiped out a whole group of Leman Russ tanks. Whoever said earlier that the Gut Ripper is an amazing tank, you're absolutely right. Not just good against infantry, also excellent against other tanks. And now we're taking out the Hellhound. Looks pretty good on this end. So from what I can see in this mission, the goal is basically, well, obviously to wipe the enemy out. But more importantly, it's to flank the enemy forces, destroying you here in the center with these much stronger, much meaner units. Here we go. Say goodbye. Oh, I actually survived that shot. I'm surprised. Still got a few points to spend, and I think we want to get some infantry. Let's get some, Storm Boys are pretty cool. So are Nobs, though. I think I'm going with the Nobs without any sort of transport, so they just have to walk, which for Nobs is a bit of an inconvenience, unless they get to kill something. Pulls the tracks off. Rip of the turrets. Anything that can be used, the Orks will use. Okay, so yeah, I'm not going for that shot. That's silly. Wait a minute, though. Man, I'm not sure why our Bone Breakers are not getting good results against those enemy units. But I will fire with the Gut Repa. Once again, the mortar actually won that one out. Does that make sense? Won that one out? the mortar actually won that conflict, which was weird. So we've got the Leman Russ here. Obviously, our poor Killicans can't do a thing about them. We're going to end the turn. Look at that tremendous amount of turret power they have there. Yeah, they're having no issue whatsoever wiping our men out here, so I think we're going to have to converge with all those other units and come back to this area to locate the rest of the enemy. Oh, they've absolutely taken over this area. Some finishing touches, I think. That is a righteous Imperial cleansing. I'll give it to them. Oh, what's this?
That's the signal. Attack the expunged Humi scum.
So maybe we should have waited until we were given the signal before we started moving forward. Maybe that's why we didn't do as well as we thought we would. But I'm going to keep up the fight. So it's quite obvious that to get into these buildings, we're going to have to use our men. Let's attack with the squigs again against the mortars. And then I'm going to move the squigs out of the way. I want to go ahead and open fire with our beautiful Grot bomb launcher. And we can actually now start taking out those mortar crews. It's really my main concern are the mortar crews. But the sentinels aren't making me feel any better. So let's fire at that as well. And the bone breaker is going to be able to break right through this building without a doubt. Don't mind if I do. Now, we've sort of got the enemy surrounded. Not really. We're just mounting a pretty good offensive against them. But look at all of those settlements we have to take. That's not going to be easy. There we go. That bit of armor is gone. Oh, look at this. They've got special forces, guys. Rattling sniper units. These are very, very deadly enemy sniper units. In fact, we're going to get sniped here in our artillery truck, even just attacking them. But especially if you guys get Armageddon, which is the other game in this series, you get to play in one of the DLC, I'm not going to tell you which, as these rattling snipers. And they are incredible. Incredibly deadly units. But mostly to infantry. Obviously, against armor, they're not going to do great, but they got a pretty good shot there on the gun truck. Move forward. And I'm going to open fire with the special shooter nobs. Really good attack there. And how can we do against the rattling snipers? I'll take it. I know how dangerous these guys are. Even at a slight loss, I will definitely open fire on them. Come on, nobs. Might as well use the roads for movement with some of our equipment here. If you want to get any information about a unit, guys, just basically you can right-click it. It'll give you the unit information over here in terms of the kind of weapons it's using, the distance you have to do damage, if it's an armor-piercing weapon, etc. So you want to definitely take a look at that when you get a chance. Yeah, we've got nothing to do there in the center. But we could consider buying even more units. I think we moved everybody. Indeed, we have. How do you guys think this is going to go? Do you think we're going to be able to pull a victory out of this one? Or is this a lost cause for the Orks? Let me know down below. In the meantime, I think we're going to take a look at 581's not bad. We could still purchase some units. Ooh, gun truck with a big Zappa. Pretty expensive. But I want to test her out. So let's put that there. That thing looks deadly. They just put like a giant Tesla coil on it. They have no idea how to use it, and it's being driven by Gretchen. This is why I think like in the Gretchen Society, maybe those that are drivers are respected a little bit more. But the difference would be negligible. Okay, ending the turn here. Oh, that was sneaky. Sneaky but effective. And there you go. The rattling snipers are firing at the squigs. The Orks. It's our turn again. Alright, what to do in this situation? First of all, that. Secondly, we're going to get into the building. So now we have the advantage, but I will attack with the squigs, even though they're going to get decimated here. The enemy is in a, as you can see, a fortified position. So they're going to actually do pretty well against a lot of our attacks. So the one thing I don't like about this weapon, it's a really expensive artillery piece, the gun truck with the big loba. But you've got to be just one tile away to use it, which is kind of dangerous. I'm going to go ahead and fire it. And as you can see, because they're in that fortified position, it's going to be a bit easier for them to hold this location. But I think we can break through with our tanks, and also because we have the high ground here. Good work, boys. We do want to move this tank around, but I want to see what's ahead of us. And technically speaking, we could bring reinforcements to the squigs, which I figure why not? I mean, they're useful for sure in their own little way. Let's see how much we can reinforce. 39! Wow, we bring them back to 100, and I want to get some revenge for my lost boys. So we're going to go ahead and attack directly on that Steel Legion unit. Let's finish off this penal battalion once and for all. Should have fired the rattling snipers with that, actually. And we can take the rattling snipers out completely with the gut ripper here. That is a huge, huge weight off my shoulders. It's a very tough unit, and now we've got 2 gut rippers out in front, just waiting for the enemy to fight back. I do want some more infantry, though. There we go, more rattling snipers. They want to stop us from getting into this area and basically wiping out everything. And we still got quite a lot of monies, believe it or not. Okay, there we go. Sentinel trying to escape? I don't think so. And we'll bring the Grot tank in. I want to see if the Grot tank has any close combat weapons. It looks like the custom Mega Blasta. And we're going to use that against the enemy here. Yeah, there's that custom Mega Blasta. Very interesting las weapon. I don't think Orks should be using las weapons at all. Okay, so we definitely need infantry as well just to get into those buildings. I think that's another reason why I'm going to go ahead and get some more infantry here. Let's get some Storm Boys. 125. I want to get the most expensive guys we can get. The nubs with the big choppers. The thing with these guys is we need to get into close combat. But that's what we're good at, so Shooter Boys, not too expensive. And we'll get some Storm Boys as well, why not? Once again, we're not buying movement vehicles for these units. They're going to have to rely on movement completely on their own. Looks like that penal battalion will live to see another minute. That's lucky for them. Bluey Wolf says, so many people want to play this game without turns. Well, yeah, I mean, the thing is, you know, at Slytherin here, we do a lot of turn-based games. It's what we like. It's what we enjoy. I could see what you mean. That could be fun, but really, I wouldn't want this to be anything but a turn-based game. It gives me time to sort of plan my moves out. It gives me time to sort of imagine what could be happening here during these massive fights in these cities, the chaos, and I just like it. You know, it's sort of my thing, and I think definitely a lot of the viewers here, it's their thing as well. You know, we're just crazy strategy gamers, to put it mildly. All right, let's end the turn here. Ooh, devastating shots. They really want to kill our squigs. Oh, I thought it was our turn there for a second. Oh, now they're coming up to try and defend this location. Actually, pretty good attack against that unit. Oh boy. So now they're actually fanning out from that original area. I'm not going to let it intimidate me, though, in the slightest. Let's just keep on moving and taking these locations. Gut Ripper, kill him. And I think the rest of the squigs can finish off This team, no, it looks like they can't. But what they can do, which is even better, is take a location there from the enemy. So now that's ours. Looks like we got some points from that as well. Eliminate all enemy vehicles immediately. There's actually still an Imperial strong point there. You could see typically in the Warhammer 40k universe, you know, everybody knows that the morality is very gray. And you can kind of see that here, where even the Imperial Guard insignia and our insignia, it's not too different from one another. They both look pretty evil. No one really looks like the good guy. We can probably say that some are a little less crazy than others, but besides that, there's not too much of a difference, guys. Let's get close here. And I think we can wipe out the Steel Legion with flamers. Nice shooting, boys. I'm also going to fire with the Grot tank, but I'd rather actually get up close and personal with the Bone Breaker. Ooh, they're gonna do some pretty good damage to us. Let's get some shots off here. The Grot launcher. This guy will be ready next turn, and I'm going straight for the command unit. Boom! Oh, he's gonna be going down soon enough. Why not? This is Armageddon after all. Not bad. And the Squigs will get their rest and refit time. We're also getting closer and closer and closer with this thing. Oh, we get to test it out. The gun truck with the big Zappa. How is this going to work? Yeah, let's use it against the Sentinel. Actually, no. I'll try to lower this unit right here. The Flamers. We want to reduce their numbers as much as possible. Well, it was pretty, but didn't seem very effective. I think we need to get a bit closer. We're still testing it out. Okay, we've got some enemy vehicles approaching. I'm getting ready. Just overwhelm everything. Alright, end the turn. Oh, look at those rattling snipers. I also love the sound they make. They're obviously using silenced weapons, so when they fire, it's just like a kind of a plink. But it does so much damage. Alright, knobs. Orks, rather. What to do? First things first, definitely want to get those rattling snipers. We're going to get them out any way we can. Let's send some Squigs after them. I mean, Squigs may not be too strong, but when there's 100 of them, you're going down. It's that simple. We'll go ahead and attack here. And great job by the Knobs. They took that position. They're going to have to wait till next turn to actually storm the position, but that's a great start. I'm going to take one of the Gut Rippers here and fire at the Sentinel Armageddon pattern. And that's just, of course, you know, an artistic pattern. You can choose any number of different kinds of patterns here for the Sentinel units. By the way, guys, if you want, we can rename you guys after some of the units. I forgot to mention that. So if you want your name in the game, state what kind of unit. You don't have to be too specific, you know, infantry, tank, and your name, and we'll put it in. Okay, here we go. Oh, I'm not sure if I should attack these guys or try to damage one of the vehicles. I think we should try to damage one of the vehicles. I'm not 100% happy with that decision, but we'll have to take it. Let's keep on moving forward with these boys. And these guys are putting up one hell of a fight. So, even at the risk of losing these Grot tanks, I definitely want to fire at the Salamander Scout here. He might be a scout, but he's definitely capable of doing a lot of damage. But let's get up close and personal. Yeah, I'm not liking the gun truck or the Big Zap at all. Look at this thing. Even against infantry, it can only do 2 damage at this distance. Now, given it's a special weapons team, but still, I'm not impressed. So yeah, we're definitely going to fire at the armor. These guys could move back and get some reinforcements. Yeah, let's go. Come back later. Live to fight another day. By the way, no real orc would actually do that. They would just keep attacking until they died. Anything else would just be considered silly. Or stupid, as the orcs like to say. Yep, I'm going to attack a vehicle with combat units, or with close combat units. See, we did some damage. And I will get rid of the commander unit. Let's take a look here. We probably want to start reinforcing these tanks soon. Oh, Blue Wolf, is it possible if I can tell the mods to have a... not really. That's not my area of expertise. You'd have to... I mean, you could certainly send a message to the PR department. Like I said, I won't be there for another 2 weeks or so. So, I think if Musso is still here, he can give you the contact for our marketing department, and we'll see if we can't pass it on. But you know, this game has been out for a long time. I'm not sure. That's a pretty big decision. I'm not sure if they would necessarily do it. It's a major decision to do something like that. I mean, part of the draw of the game is you've got to be good enough to, you know, win within that turn limit. Is essentially the way I see it, at least. Let's bring in. Actually, I want another Grotbomblanger. So that makes sense. The Grotbomblanger is more expensive. It's definitely more useful to me. The Gut Ripper is too expensive. We could bring in the Bone Break. I'd actually rather bring in some infantry. So I'm going to bring in the Shooter Boys. 300. Might as well give them a gun truck. And we'll put them over here. Alright then. I think we done moved everything. And we shall end the turn. First, I'm going to get into that building. It's always better to be in a building for defensive purposes. So now they're strafing the building to kill this unit, but the good news is they're not focusing on any of our armor. So it's kind of like a sacrificial lamb situation, and with the orcs you get this happening a lot. They're focusing on our orc with the big choppa and totally ignoring our armor, which means we want to try and focus on theirs. So look at that bombard. We can get rid of that now, or try to at least, and I think that should be our main priority. As you can see, though, the enemy does have quite a lot of guns here. I'm also going to go ahead and get some replacements here for that unit, get them back to 25 strength. Move over here. Unfortunately, I'm not sure if even 85 squigs can do much damage to a sentinel. Nah, all they can do is kind of like bite at its metallic legs. It's not really doing much. That's how you kill a sentinel off. And I would move forward, but actually I'm going to let the Penal Legion come to us if they want to fight. Now, we do have our Storm Boys. They're going to pop right in and attack that Penal Legion. Teach them never to mess with the boss. Let's see. And once again, it's the enemy armor that worries me. So I might have to focus a lot of fire on that enemy armor, even at the expense of losing a few units. As you can see, yeah, that armor is sturdy, and that's just a Salamander Scout. So even their Scout units are pretty tough. Get some replacements there for them. The Squigs could come out, attack the Penal Legion, Actually, I'd rather attack the Steel Legion infantry. So remember, the Steel Legion, they're not just any regular Imperial Guard units. They are highly trained Imperial Guard units. You know, it's not just your average Imperial Guard. Of course, some Steel Legion units are stronger than others, but these guys can pretty much, not necessarily always, but they can hold out a pretty decent fight against Orks. In this case, the Penal Battalions are the ones that really are almost on the level, probably at the same level as Imperial Guard. They don't really have a lot of experience. You know, they're human after all. I am going to move this tank back, try and get some replacements for it, and we'll keep moving forward with these fellas here. Why not? And we'll end the turn here. I will jump into the chat here in a sec. Alright, nothing new, nothing new. Fair enough. Interestingly enough, despite these guys almost being dead, well, we can also get them some reinforcements, but as you can see, since we're very close to enemy lines, we're not getting them as many reinforcements as we would if we were, for instance, somewhere out here. But we've got to be happy with what we can get, so let's turn it over to the enemy. Okay, 6 turns to kill all of the rest of the enemy units. Can we do it? I don't know. As you can see, we do have a special shooter here with the Ard boys. So I'm actually going to fire, and look at this. Special shooter seems to be able to have some anti-tank properties. The special shooter. Nice! That thing actually did tremendous damage to the Salamander Scout. And we're going to swarm this thing with Horned Squigs and destroy it. Ah, what a beautiful day. Okay, there we go. Looks like we can still do some damage here, guys. You don't want to let Orks have any chance at getting their power back. We're going to fire here at the Leman Russ with a Dozer Blade upgrade. So what does that do for the Leman Russ? That basically allows it to take on infantry in the same way our Gut Rippers do, and do a tremendous amount of damage. One second, guys. Cheeto is experiencing some tech issues. Okay, he's installing new internet, so he's going to be in and out of the stream. Here we go. Yeah, we're going to get rid of that Leman Russ. Kill him, nobs! Oh, I expected you guys to put up a better fight than that. Come on. Alright, so we're going to fire, and then we're going to do something a little sneaky. We're going to back up. We're going to move these units in to finish the job. In fact, they don't even need to get up close and personal, but they do have choppas, so I must send them here. Then again, I could try and kill the Leman Russ. Yes! Oh, you guys are awesome. I don't know if Orks give out medals, but if they do, maybe they give out, like, skulls. Those guys just earned one, because that was a really good attack. Now we don't have to worry about the enemy Leman Russ. Emily? Emily? Maybe. Sounds like a girl's name. That's Emily. My fiancé. Here we go. Alright, I think we still got a few shots here. Let's move the tank back. Get some reinforcements. Again, I think we're going to have to keep recycling reinforcements throughout the actual battle itself. Or else there's no chance we can win. We're down to 70 in terms of scrap. It's called requisition, but whenever I play as the Orks, I just consider this scrap metal. And they don't have enough scrap metal right now to render any assistance. So we'll end the turn. Let me make sure I move this guy. Yeah, I did. I love that they're firing only at the squigs. That's great. Please use all of your guns on the squigs. That way our regular units can actually kill you guys. Wonderful. And even the squigs get a little defensive bonus in the building, which I think is hilarious. Alright. Kill them all. This is called an ambush. Goodbye. Thank you for your service. Now for these guys, I kind of want to get them some requisition points. They can actually increase their strength dramatically. So for this one situation, I am going to attack specifically the Steel Legion Infantry, because I don't want them damaging our newly requisitioned nobs. And we'll also fire here. Actually, we can wipe out the enemy, so now I'm going to have to go for the kill. Great work from the nobs there. That enemy machine gun unit has me worried, guys. You can actually hit it from here, but I think grinding through the enemy is going to be a more effective way of making it in there. And there we go with the close combat and the big chopper. They just sliced up all of the enemies in that area. We're going to go ahead and attack the flamer units here. We might pull the units back to do some additional damage. And I'm also going to take that location from the enemy. Gives us a few more resources. I mean, technically, we could probably eventually grab another unit, but with the amount of turns, I'm not sure that's going to happen. Let's see. Not bad. Gotta accept your losses. And with the tank here, we'll get some forces for him, of course. Of course, that lowers our scrap. We don't have a lot left. Just for helping that tank out. Might as well get this unit in the building to get the building's defensive bonus. Otherwise, I think that's the end of that turn. $12 of 16. 265. That's all going to be for requisition. Grot tank time. Oh man, he's not... The Grot tank is not in the best mood. He's not going to do a lot of damage here. But some is better than none. So let's go ahead and open up. Oh, heroes to the Orks. Gork and Mork would be proud. That Ardboys with Special Shoot had just wiped out that squad. But remember, we're supposed to kill all of the enemies in this area. We're going to do everything we can to accomplish that goal. So let's start firing on the machine gun, on the, the bolter gun unit. Heavy bolter gun. And yeah, we do have to be a little careful because our tanks are kind of getting a little weaker with all the action. But the fact is we've got to keep attacking. There we go. Wipe that unit out. Beautiful. Let's bring in the nobs. The nobs, of course, these are a form of Ork noblemen. And they deserve to get their kills in here. So the nobs are going to attack. Still got a few tank units back here that were just requisitioned. And we just wiped out that strong point. Beautiful. Not sure if it's enough to win, but it's a start. Like I said before, here we go. Getting attacked from behind by squigs. A terrible fate. Definitely a fate worse than death. And those guys survived, so they'll live to tell you about it. Let's see if we've got anything else. So technically we could bring a unit in, but I think it's just a bit too late for that. The only other thing I could consider doing is on turn 13, getting replacements for these guys, and then hoping that in 2 or 3 turns we can finish them off. It's a tough call either way. And look at that. They've got another fire support unit, another heavy bolter squad. Okay, ending the turn. Wish us luck, boys. Okay, here we go with the squigs. Instant kill, of course, there. I'm going to move them into this area right here. Even that was probably a bit foolhardy because we could have sent another unit to attack the enemy here. But I think this Gut Ripper can actually wipe them out. There we go. So the one reason I didn't reinforce this Gut Ripper is I knew he was going to get a really good attack. This one has full bars. But I want to use these guys to wipe out the Penal Legion. Good work. Oh, they're still not dead. Finish them off, nobles. Good work. Take that location, and now we're up to 515 requisition points. We could technically bring in another unit, but I'm not sure we're going to be able to drop him anywhere worthwhile. So let's get up close and personal and drive into this place. Oh, yes. That's working. Charge! Leave no survivors. Bring that big Zappa here. Useless vehicle, but sometimes even useless things, if you're an orc, you can turn it into something useful. Very thrifty, I think you could say. So now I'm just scouting the area, seeing if I could find any more enemies. Actually, these guys can go ahead and rest and refit. Get back up to 40, why not? Rest and refit, definitely. And yeah, I think that's it. I'll jump into the chat here, see what you guys are talking about. Yeah, a long way to go to get some of the victory points. You're right. Ooh, we might have to take a look at that one in the southeast. I see it. I see it. Yeah. I see exactly what you're talking about. It's right there. But I actually tried to take that area, and we weren't able to capture it. Maybe we had to land directly on the spot. We'll see. Here we go, guys. Ending the turn. Now, remember, our job, though, was to kill all the enemy units, not necessarily to capture all the points. I'm hoping that's going to be our saving grace. Oh, no, it's not. There's a lot of them. Ooh, I think it's too far to reach. I think it's way too far. We're just gonna have to hope that all we have to do is kill the rest of the enemy. Fire! Okay. Here we go. Oh, I hate the big Zappa. I'm never taking the big Zappa again. Its bark is so much worse than its bite. So as you can see, I'm trying to cap all these points. But I'm hoping that Gork and Mork will shine favorably on us and allow us to win just by capping the rest of these points down here. Again, it said to destroy the enemy. It didn't say cap all the points, but that's pretty much implied. When you see this yellow marker around something, that's basically an important victory point that you want to hold. There's also a few up here. Looks like fortified positions, but we'll see. Okay, end the turn. Victory! What did I tell you? Always follow orders. Yes, sure enough, that was victory. So it was all about just wiping out the enemy. So nice. I'm happy with that. We're going to go ahead and proceed to the next part of the campaign. Let's see what happens, boys.
Good job. The boss will be pleased with that, all right. No wonder you're one of his best dogs. But that was just the start. We got plenty more data to come.
More Daka.
We haven't finished with Volcanus yet. There's still plenty of scum hiding in the hive. We gotta go in and flush them out. Do it all methodical like.
Methodical like.
And the homies will come out fighting. Kill them all when they do. Take this eye. Volthraka!
Okay, guys, so the enemy objectives here, capture all 11 victory hexes. And as you can see, this is a very different looking map. I mean, really different looking. It almost looks like it could be underground. And we're basically using the units that we had last turn. So we're going to go ahead and drop them down here. Get some of our infantry there up in the front. Some of our tanks as well. And I'm basically just going to kind of spread them out. Now, we did not get our artillery with us. So, I want to see if I can buy some arty. Let's get some Grot bomb launches. Obviously, we can requisition a lot of troops here. So, I definitely want to bring my artillery with me. And we'll probably get a few more tanks, too. Why not? Never hurts to have a few more of these excellent, excellent tanks. So, let's go grab the Gut Ripper. I'll slow down with my purchasing in a second here, but I want to get a few more infantry units as well. So let's get some shooter boys. Just standard shooter boys. Do a little damage to the enemy at distance. And maybe some nubs. Actually, we've got the Ard boys. These guys are pretty good. But when I buy vehicles for them, that allows them to move faster, of course, but it also costs more. So we'll end deployment. Okay, here we go. So first of all, we right away have a Bane Wolf. This is an interesting looking vehicle. It's a Chimera class, I think, but a really nice Chimera class. And we've got Hive Militia. My goodness, we definitely want to wipe these guys out. So there's some sort of hive here that we're attacking. This is interesting. This could be another sort of arc to the story. But in the meantime, I'm more worried about that annoying Bane Wolf. What you get when you mess with the Orks. I'm going to go for the Hive Militia. There's too many of them. We need to try to take them out. Let's move forward with our knobs of big choppers. Look at that, man. They're everywhere. This is a Hive gang. So we've got Hive Militia with auto pistols. We've got Hive gangs. They're defending this area. And I'm assuming that this is something like a human base that's not connected to the Imperium. Basically like an independent sort of autonomous region. And we are going to put it to shame. Say that. We're just going to pulverize the enemy here. Attack. There we go. Dead enemy vehicle. Beautiful. Grot tank can fire from here, but I want to get those squigs up, and I also want to use the artillery. So we're going to move up a bit. Oh, extremely effective fire. We've still got this annoying big zap. I should have gotten rid of it. I could have disbanded it, but we'll go ahead and use it. Why not? Didn't even do any damage, man. So the reason I'm firing at these guys and not at the guys in the building is these guys are out in the open. I'm going to do a lot more damage to them. That being said, doesn't mean I'm going to ignore the enemies in the building. Oh! What is that? We just killed one of them, but they've got some sentry guns here. Tarantula fire support. But basically for the guys in the building, we want to move in with actual units for urban combat. And actually we cut through the Hive Militia there pretty well, even with just the squigs. Look at how many of them there are. Say hello to the Gut Ripper. They don't seem too strong. That's a Hive gang. We just took out 25 of them with no problems. Shooter boys against a Hive gang. I should have actually Move them back. Once again, I kept the undo button off. If I make a mistake, I make a mistake. I really should have put the shooter boys here. They're not made for close combat. They're made for shooting. That being said, let's get into a fight here with that hive gang. Why not? Trade a few rounds. And I think we've got some artillery here. But I'm actually going to use it against the tarantula anti-tank. There we go. We don't want our beautiful gut rippers having trouble moving through this territory. Charge! Oh, I think that's it. That is a big war party, though, and this is a WA for sure. Let's purchase some more stuff here. Yeah, I'm going to get another artillery piece. You guys know it. And maybe burner boys. No, something better. Shooter boys. I'm not going to give them any transport. They're just going to have to fight it out on their own, and I'm going to put them over there. We've basically taken up the entire map with units, and of course, our goal is to push through this independent city. And actually, it is owned by the Empire, so I'm not sure what the hives are about. Maybe somebody can explain it in the chat. But basically, we need to take this area. So it's absolutely owned by the Empire. We see the Imperial Guard seal. Maybe it's a renegade Imperial Guard squad. You know, basically they've decided to break away. Who knows? That's what it seems like to me, at least. But I'm just guessing, to be honest with you guys. Make sure we don't have anybody else that can move. Probably still purchase something. Yeah, we can. Let's get a bone breaker. All right. There we go, guys. End the turn. Oh, man. So, not very effective fire, but they've got a lot of guns. And you can tell that their guns are not the more modern guns we're using.
That's the one the boss says we should capture first.
Okay, so he wants us to capture the victory points around the Imperial headquarters here. But yeah, basically it sounds like they're using just like almost old-fashioned weapons, like weapons we'd use today. In this case, I think that we may outgun the enemy a bit. Just moving the smashers, but I'm going to have them smash the Leman Russ. And yes, they can smash the Leman Russ, but before we do that, let's attack with our Gut Ripper. In fact, this is what we have artillery for. Nice. Can you imagine these guided Gretchen managing to kill a Leman Russ tank? All right, we're gonna move forward with the Bone Breaker. Hit them, boys. Now, these hive gangs know this territory a lot better than we do. We have to keep that in mind. So they're going to be using these buildings for cover. We're going to have to go in and take them out little by little. I'm going to move up on this guy and destroy that Leman Russ. And there we go. I mean, you can't have a Leman Russ just walking around. That's not good. It's not going to be good for your cause. You're going to lose very, very quickly. And look at this. We've actually got some hive militia with auto guns. My goodness. So these guys have some modern weaponry. That's right down there below us, so I'm going to attack them for sure. I think we have another... Yeah, we got some more artillery. We should have used it. Look at all of the hive units here. And actually, I'm going to fire this at the anti-tank. Obviously, because I don't want it shooting at our Gut Ripper. Let's send in the Grots. Excuse me, not the Grots, the Squigs. Shame on me. And there we go, firing from the building. We wiped that unit out completely. And they would expect me to attack here, but I'm actually going to move these Nopes here, and I'm going to attack this unit in the building. I want to show them they are not safe anywhere, and we just killed them all with Nobs with a big chopper. Never ever think that just a rudimentary melee weapon is not as effective as a gun in the 40k universe. Here we go. Oh yeah, you still want to fight us? You still want to fight? Send in the boys. I love the artillery, I have to say. Look at that. A little Gretchen on top with an Ork riding at the front. I wonder what happens if the Gretchen, like, refuses, like, tries to leave. I don't think anything good would come of that. Okay, 3 shots here. Yeah, we can wipe this unit out. Let's get it. Let's do it. There we go. Beautiful. And this useless weapon. Gosh, I don't think I've ever hated something more than the gun truck with a big zappa. Let's fire at these guys. And they actually managed to do some damage back. Like, what is that awful weapon? Hello. Gotta go for the anti-tank first. As much as I'd love to take on the gangs here, I think that's the biggest threat. Good shooting, boys. Wipe him out. Well, they actually managed to survive. That's surprising. Gotta give it to them. That was okay, but they're about to be completely crushed. Quite literally. And we need to start sending our boys in to capture these locations here. This is what the war boss wants us to capture. And of course, in our culture, it's all about who's the strongest warlord. It's you know, it's all about the war boss. Who's the meanest orc? Who's the most vicious orc? That's who leads everybody. Sometimes they channel Gork and Mork, which are the orc gods, and sometimes they pretend to be prophets. Oh, thank you, Piddles. So Piddles says hive cities are gigantic cities, usually with layers stacked on each other. Wow. So both you and Demon Wave said that they're basically enemies of the Imperium. Interesting. Very interesting. Oh, no, massive cities of the Imperium, sorry. So I guess the gangs are just, they don't work for the Imperium, but obviously I guess they have a collective interest in getting rid of orcs, maybe. That could be probably the most simple explanation, but maybe the most realistic one. So I'm going to move forward here, but I'm going to try to wipe these guys out. I don't know why I moved there with a gun truck. That wasn't the greatest idea. Let's take this area. Yes! Yes! Oh my goodness, look at that. Our nobs wiped out the hive militia with auto pistols. There's still a few of them, but that was pretty effective. Very effective. Okay, we're gonna end the turn, guys. First, let me see if we can bring reinforcements to anybody. No, I don't think so. Not that we even need them. I mean, right now we're crushing the enemy. Here we go. Once again, that's some pretty impressive shooting from these rudimentary weapons. So let's wipe these guys out. Well, let's see if we can get maybe some arty. Nice. Ooh, they withstood that pretty well. Give them another taste. There we go. Took 2 of the areas. Now we have to take 1 more here. But they've got actually hive militia with auto pistols here, and they're pretty tough. I'm not gonna lie. Man, squigs. Yeah, man, those auto pistols, they're really putting up a fight. Alright, I think we can just wipe them out here with the special shooter. Yeah, nice. 1 unit down. Use some lasers against this guy. Now, I am bombarding that unit. It doesn't mean I'm going to attack that unit with the tank. I'm going to use the tank on the weaker unit that's out in the open. Try to destroy him first. Building giving us perfect cover. And now I think we can wipe out the enemy anti-tank guns. We should do that for sure. Not the most effective anti-tank guns, but, you know, we don't want to have them around. We never know, you know, what's going to happen. And even back here, we've got some more hive militia with auto guns. These guys are not going to give up without a fight. So we'll give it to them. This is an orc city now. I suggest you all leave immediately. And there we go. Destroyed another hive unit. And I'm actually going to come around here. Not very effective. So the Bone Break is definitely one of those tanks, and you can tell by the massive spiked rolling pin here at the front. It's really a tank that performs best in close combat, which is true, I think, for most of the Ork tanks. It's always close combat. That's the most important thing. Interesting, Piddle and Squishy. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes total sense. Hey, Wavel, how you doing? Good to see you, man. There's not much administrative love for the lower levels, says Piggles and Squishy, but no one is safe from Orks, which makes sense. So I guess it's sort of, you know, a situation where they're going to team up with the Imperium no matter what, even criminal gangs, to stop the Ork threat. And Demon Wave says each city has their own gangs, but when Orks try to destroy their place, they will fight back. Yeah, we're destroying all the rackets. All the gang's rackets, we're getting rid of them. I want them all for myself. Let's move around here.
With the
sparkly lights.
You gotta capture them next.
I love the way Orks talk. It's just hilarious. The sparkly lights. And I'm actually going to reinforce this unit. Ooh, war buggy fail. Alright, let's end the turn. I want to take that last point at least. Here we go. Alright, we're going to do all the damage we can first. So, artillery. We've got some more artillery we can use. This unit needs reinforcements, so we're actually going to move him back. He's not going to be of any assistance to us. There we go. Move in, Squigs. Yes, we've taken it. So we took this Imperial Citadel of sorts. I think it's an Imperial Citadel. That's what I would call it anyway. And we're going to use this tank to finish off the enemy here. Of course, we need to move up on the row of buildings next. So that's this row of buildings over here and all of the stuff back here. This is the tenements, I guess you could call them. The housing. It actually says housing. Let's see if that building has an actual name. Hold on. A big structure. And actually, it's really funny because that's exactly what an Ork would call it. It's a big structure. You know, no, like, it's not an administrative center. It's not. It's just big structure. Pretty straightforward. Okay, I think we're going to move forward into this area. Sure enough, we've got some enemies waiting for us. And once again, high militia with auto guns. They're not going to give up these factories without a fight. So these are their factories. This is probably where they produce a lot of their illicit goods, assuming they operate like regular gangs. And we want to wipe them out. Now these guys need, yeah, they definitely need to restore their health. Oh, I didn't see that. Hive gang right there. They might try and retake this area. Well, it's got plenty to spend. We could probably get more stuff. Move. Inspect these buildings, make sure they're free of enemies, but I think they are. Our next job is to advance deeper into the city, the central part where all the factories are. And let's get those guys some reinforcements. They only got 2, but, you know, even 2 makes a big difference. Alright, ending the turn before I decide to move more units out of position. Oh, they were going for it. They didn't get there, but they were certainly going for it. So we definitely captured that area for sure. We captured this zone, this sort of building zone that you see here. Now the enemy wants it back, so they're even attacking with hive gangs. Let's see if we can't put a stop to that. I really want to use this Shooter Boys unit, but he needs reinforcements. Let's get the big Zappa. What harm can it do? And let's bring in some artillery fire. I think we'll wipe those gangs out before they're even a threat. That's what I love about Artie, is being able to soften up targets and get to the point where you're essentially eliminating an entire threat there. Get some reinforcements for them. I'm going to move these beautiful Shooter Boys. Oops, sorry about that, guys. With the big shooters here, and we are going to open fire. Oh, yes, it's looking very good. All right, guys, well, we are getting to the end of this stream. Like I mentioned before, I am going to be on vacation in Portugal for a while. Of course, you can always check out my Twitch channel. I don't know if I'm going to be doing a lot of streaming, but it's just Agrippa Maxenius. Same with my YouTube. You definitely also want to stop by our Slytherin and Matrix channels. We're not going to be putting a lot up, but for any new trailers, etc., that are going to be coming out while I'm on vacation, they'll absolutely be going up there. So you'll want to stay in touch with those. And as far as Armageddon goes, you know, I highly recommend this game. Now, there's two different kinds. There's Armageddon, and that's basically you as the Imperial Guard, the Space Marines, etc. And then there's Warhammer Armageddon, the Orks, which is what we're playing now, where you get to play as the perspective of the Orks. And I'm actually just quickly here going to head to the main menu and show you guys the campaigns. So you've got these campaigns right here, as well as a tutorial, just a basic tutorial to learn the game. You also got multiplayer, so you can play against friends, and we've got some scenarios, and the scenarios are really incredible. There's a lot of them, just like in the regular Warhammer Armageddon game, and these are some of the toughest ones I've faced, and you're basically playing with orcs. So can you do better than Agrippa as the Orks? I think you certainly can. Thanks so much, Muso. Make sure to subscribe to me there, guys. I will be broadcasting from there for the next 2 weeks, probably, the Agrippa channel. And thank you guys so much for stopping by. I hope you guys have a really great holiday, and I hope you guys are getting everything you want during your holiday season. Thank you so much, Audie. Don't worry, I'll still keep making videos, but probably not as many live streams. Thanks, my friends. You guys are the best. Take care, and I'll see you in the new year.